I don't think anybody should be emotionally distancing. Your team should still be able to have fun, socialize, and connect together without being physically together. And you can do that with some creative games and tips I will be sharing with you today. Thank you for being a part of my channel, where I talk about graphic design with intention. I'm Jenny Famularcano, and I'm also an introvert who has actually had a lot of fun connecting with people a little bit more intentionally during this time. The main tool I use for finding icebreaker questions for my classes and events is the Solversations card game. I helped design the cards and the packaging, and my friends at EIX are currently running a special promo right now for a connection builder bundle, where you get the game, intentional candle, and journal from the team. Check it out at solversationsgame.com. Just a little disclaimer, some of these activities may require additional supplies or tools to achieve, but we'll all be using Zoom's main functions. My very first tip is start with sound. So this is sharing some music when your event starts to kind of create and liven up the mood, and also just create a fun atmosphere and get up the energy before everyone in the event is attending. So I had some complaints once my music was too loud, and it actually hurt my feelings a little bit. Make sure you ask some of your coworkers or some friends to kind of test out the levels a little bit to make sure that all the levels are good on all different computers, and that you're not playing it too loud, and that the vibe kind of matches your whole environment or your little party that you're going to be organizing. My next tip is utilizing breakout groups. So something that I like to do at the very beginning of an event, after people have kind of settled in, throw people into a one-on-one chat with each other by creating a breakout group with only 2 people, sometimes 3 if it's an uneven amount of people, but I like to throw people into a group of 2 people so that they can have one person discussing, one person listening. It's a very intimate, very personal experience, but it gets people kind of engaged, and people don't ever feel like they're out of place because all of a sudden you're talking to somebody. And I always tend to give them a question to kind of inspire some sort of discussion. And I use the questions from Solversations as my main tool. I always look for things that are a little bit more on the shallow side, kind of inspire some very comfortable, nothing too vulnerable of questions to kind of inspire discussion, or some activities they can do to ruffle up engagement. One activity that I absolutely love from the deck is actually one that is a 7-step handshake, and this deck was designed with in-person engagement in mind, but what has been really fun is to seeing the virtual version of it, where people would be doing handshakes or just dance moves with each other that I asked them to demonstrate for everyone else once we come back from the breakout rooms. So utilizing breakout rooms in a one-on-one fashion has also been really detrimental in getting some of my students very much engaged in the rest of class. Another game that you can try doing in these one-on-one groups is having both individuals come out with a piece of paper and a pen, and timing them, giving them 5 minutes before the breakout room is over to draw a blind contour of another person. It's something that we've done in art school to kind of get us thinking about what we see versus what we're drawing, and just getting intimate with another person. So it's always fun to do amongst coworkers to have them draw each other, and it's so much fun. Do you have a favorite creative activity that you really enjoy doing? Can there be a virtual version or a Zoom version of it that you can bring? Let me know in the comments below. So this second game is actually a coloring book activity. Our agency actually uses Mural to use as a whiteboard. My classroom also uses the tool Miro for annotation in whiteboard, but you can also use the annotation skills inside of Zoom to create a coloring book. And all you would need to do is to gather or create a black and white illustration or coloring book, and having people color using the annotation tools on their screen. It's very great for introverts who tend to like to do things. Like I love doing like quiet things, and that's how I like to spend time together. So it brings out all different kinds of people. It brings out people who might not think that they're very creative, and gives them opportunity just to like do something for fun together in a space. Have an end result like a coloring book at the end of it. Game number 3 is actually trivia, and we like to use the tool Kahoot, which has been mainly used as an educational tool for elementary school and middle schoolers and high schoolers. But what I really love seeing it with adults is the fact that you can bring different kinds of media, and you can also award points to people who are the fastest. This actually requires a little bit of a subscription. Most people will only be using their phone to answer the questions. A tip for this game in particular is collecting content from the people who are attending. I use this for creating an event for one of my coworkers who is actually leaving the company. I ask everyone for screenshots or different trivia they have about this person, and created a trivia game around them. And it was really fun because even if you didn't know it's multiple choice, you still learn something new about them. So always you can tap into your team or your people to contribute some of the questions, some of the answers, and you can all learn about each other in a very fun and very exciting kind of way. People get really into the whole like leaderboard thing on the Kahoot trivia. This one I call the annotation race. It actually uses the annotation tools within Zoom. I use a Google Doc to kind of split up the team so people know which team they are. I give them like an image with 2 columns, and they're supposed to draw directly onto the image where the location of different anchor points are. If you're not into locating anchor points for a game, some other ideas could be locating something that's missing, or finding Waldo, whoever circles it first. Each team can be their own color, drawing directly onto the Zoom screen using the Zoom tools. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you'll subscribe to my channel for more information on graphic design and working with intention, and I will see you in the next video.